Warning: the following podcast show that you're about to listen to will include explicit language and content in which you, the members of the audience, may find offensive. Audience discretion is advised.
Welcome to another episode of the Kim Hoang Podcast Experience.
Yeah, boy.
Where anything and everything is a subject matter on the show, and no subject matter is ever taboo.
Damn, that's what's up with you.
And now, your host with the most, Mr. Kim Hoang. Bro, am I getting paid for this?
Yo, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? How in the world are you? This is your boy Kim Hoang, the Asian sensation, and we're here serving up another great dish that is the Kim Hoang Podcast Experience. And yo, I'm home. I'm where it's at. You know, I'm here where it all began, in Annapolis, Maryland, my old hometown. Check the profile, November 23rd, 1977, around 9 a.m. over at Anne Arundel Medical Center in downtown Annapolis, or formerly downtown Annapolis, since it now moved over to Jennifer Road. I was born, I was conceived here. It's great, and to be here at home is amazing. You know, when I was driving over here earlier today, I felt the positivity, the good energy, and it just all the good memories came in. And I just knew that. I just smiled. I was like, man, this is Naptown, baby. This is home. And I'm glad to be here, you know, and you can take Annapolis out of the kid, but you can't take the kid out of Annapolis, you know, hands down. This is something that was kind of impromptu. Over here in Annapolis at the Riggo Productions Studio, which for those that don't know where it is, Naptown people, it is literally over near Ayers T. Allen Boulevard and Forest Drive, right next to the Dunkin' Donuts and the multi-battery shop that you can get your AAA or AA or your car battery. We're right there. You know what I mean? And it's right next to what was formerly Kicked Up Fitness, now is a boxing gym or a kickboxing gym or something like that. But we're here. We're here and we're doing it, and there will be a lot of answers to be explained. You know, because there's going to be a lot of questions like, yo, what are you doing in Naptown? Very fair question. Number one, just, you know, if I can be rated R, I'm in Naptown because that's what the fuck I want to do. So, you know, you don't tell me what I'm going to do. If I want to come down here in Annapolis, you know, 3 times in a week, that's what I'm going to do. But, you know, we're here on some great business. With me right now are 2 awesome gentlemen. I'm just going to slowly bring them out. One of them was an alumni guest over in the Kim Hoang Podcast Experience, a fellow Moco brother, and the fact that he's also a director and a good guy. And, you know, pretty soon, you know, we might actually have a bro date and get like tattoos together. I don't know. It's going to be awesome. For the one time, Juan Morales is in the building. Juan, what's going on, big time?
Hey, glad to be here.
Glad to have you back.
Of course, yeah, man. This is awesome. You know, very last minute, we're doing it in the middle of an event, so an event. Just, you know, that's exactly what we need right now.
Shout out to Riggo Video Production Studio, because, you know, I actually did bring my podcasting stuff, but the fact that they literally have the McLarens of the microphone games, I was like, okay, I don't have to bring much. And this is so awesome. And the fact that we're in an enclosed area, it's actually done right because they have the foam egg crates for the sound and so forth. God, I'm in love. Like, I just want to kick people out and like live here. This is amazing. Now, I know that we have a guest right across from you, so if you can really slowly introduce him and let us know who and what he is and what is the situation.
Of course, and I mean, it's no ordinary guest. It is the one and only Sean Patrick Small.
Yes. Sean, what's going on, big time?
How's it going?
It's going pretty good, sir. Welcome to the Kim Hoang Podcast Experience.
Thank you for having me, sir.
Yeah, so, I mean, let's dive right into it, guys. I mean, we're here. It's a beautiful, as we are recording right now, it's a beautiful Saturday afternoon. The weather is gorgeous, and we're here in my hometown of Annapolis, Maryland. What is going on here at the Riggo Video Production Studio? What's the word?
So this is a screening event, a networking event, where we are premiering our proof of concept film for our upcoming feature film, Abhaile.
Okay, and that's the film that you're associated with, and that is a movie that you directed?
am going to direct.
Oh, you are going to direct.
I am the writer and director.
Oh, nice. What made you to go ahead and decide to, cash in your eggs and to throw this event and to show this?
I'm really confident about this project. I mean, this is a story that needs to be told right now. It's it's a Latino-led film where we get to experience what Latinos are facing in the country at this current time.
Right.
And we get to, explore how systems of hatred work in this modern era. And we're doing that through the best way I know how to, and it's through vampires, blood, and gore, baby.
Wow. It's kind of like facing today's real life situations, mixing with monster and the horror genre. I like that. That's very creative, man. That's very creative. Like, what made you decide to, first off, like, write a script for that in the first place? Was this something that you based it out of, like, a real life thing that you felt passionate about, or did you just felt like, okay, I got the creative juices flowing, let's just write something and see where it goes?
This is actually a story that I've been working on since 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I was originally supposed to start making a comedy feature, but I decided, hey, as a creative, I need to work on something where my art aligns with my reality. Mm-hmm. But also, I mean, I wish I could tell you that I've faced a vampire in real life that inspired all of this, but the only vampires I know are the IRS. But
oh God.
But no, this is just a very personal story where I get to finally explore the culture that I come from, and I get to tackle some certain issues that I feel need to be talked about.
Okay. And when did this come about? When did you come up with the concept? And obviously, it's a concept, but it's not being like filmed yet.
So as far as the concept, I mean, it started out as just a way to challenge myself back in 2023. I wanted to explore different viewpoints, specifically like making a film that's female-led. I want to challenge myself and get to research. That's the best part for me, at least as a filmmaker. I get to learn so many new things, new cultures, new experiences.
For sure.
But then it evolved into so much more. I wanted to make a film that explored abuse, but then I was like, I kind of want to do something a little more than that now. I want to tackle some big things. I want to have some fun. I want to go all out, and I don't just want to make a horror film. I want to make my horror film, the one that I'm going to be proud of, that I am proud of.
So how is Sean associated with this?
Of course. Well, I was fortunate to have very good friends, and we got connected, and I gave him the script, and he was blown away, and now he's here. He's helping me create this. He's a producer on Abhaile, and I'm excited, to keep working on this project with him.
Okay. Sean, when you actually heard that Juan was going to do something of this magnitude, what was your initial reaction when you heard it, and what was your reaction when you actually saw the idea visually?
Yeah, so like Juan said, I actually met one of his friends out in LA who got me the script. So I hadn't met Juan before I even read the script.
Okay.
And it was one of those stories that you read that are topical, have a message that need to be showcased, especially in this time, this turbulent time. And so I was like, I want to be involved. How can I be involved in any way that you need me, any shape or form?
When you actually see something like that, what are the points where, either A, it's a deal maker for you, or and B, it's a deal breaker for you?
Well, first, it has to be a script that you don't want to put down. It has to be something where you don't get to page 15 and you're like, all right, how do I make it to page 30? It needs to be a page turner. It needs to make you feel something. And for me as a filmmaker as well, it's not about messages that you're just hitting the nail on the head. Like, I don't want to be told what this is. I want to be shown what this is. I want to be, from an audience's perspective, I want it to be something that they realize on their own and that they feel, whether it's this, that, or the other, they have their own feeling. It's not, this is what you're supposed to be pigeonholed to feel like. Because those are the type of films where it's just like A to B, B to C. And this is something that, as like almost like a melting pot, brings a bunch of different stories and characters together that make you feel every which way in the best and worst way possible.
So how did it make you feel when you saw it?
Saw the script?
Yes, sir.
Oh man, as a straight white male, very, there's a lot of things going on in this world right now that make me, I try not to overcorrect for the other straight white males, so being able to see a script that is Latino led, that is female led, that gets these perspectives out is super important during this time.
Right.
And so when I see something like that, I'm like, I, as a filmmaker or a film fan, would love to just see it.
Right.
So if I have any capacity to help produce it, to help in any way to Juan or to whoever else is helping produce this as well, like, I want to jump on board. And I'm the kind of passionate person where I'm like, I like this, I want to work on it, how can I do that? And if they don't want me to, then it's fine. It's like, oh, we're good,
right,
stay in your lane. But I very much was, what's the right word? I don't know. I was taken by it. So I had to let Juan know and just be like, all right, here's my cards on the table. I'm down to help if you want my help.
Right. Now, this is just only strictly my opinion, and I want to get the opinions of both of you gentlemen. But, if I was in your position and somebody gave me a script and I read the script, the way that I base it for myself is that, I got to be interested. Actually, when I read it, it's got to keep me interested. It's got to make sense. And there's got to be some form of logic, behind it. And I feel like if I can connect those 3 dots, that's the perfect triangle. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense. That's good. At that point, how does it make me feel? Okay, I feel good about it. Okay, I'm locked in. I'm locked in and I'm ready to go. Or, although it does kind of connect the dots, maybe this is something that I shouldn't go for because of X, Y, and Z, reasoning. What do you think about when you hear something like that? Do you agree with that? Do you not agree with that? Do you think that, well, to each their own? How would each of you guys think about that?
I think that's like a good starting point. When you were talking about that, the thing that I thought of when I'm reading a script is I want to be surprised when the twists and turns happen in the script. If I'm able to guess what's going to happen on page 60 by page 15, then it's not going to be the right move for me.
Okay.
So being able to watch the film unfold in your mind when you're reading a script like that and being surprised when things happen in a logical way, where it makes sense, it's connected to the story, it's not just a twist to be like, I'm M. Night Shyamalan. It's a logical progression of the story, and that's one of the major things that I look for as well in the film. But I agree with you that those 3 things do need to connect. It's like making a triangle, but the inside of the triangle also needs to be filled with color at the same time.
For sure, yeah. Because if you don't, it's just empty space. And exactly. I definitely get where you're coming from. Juan, rebuttal, your thoughts?
I'm actually on the same train of thought. honestly, like you said, those 3 things have to connect. I mean, filmmaking isn't just something you can see and it'll look cool, the visuals and whatnot. But if the story doesn't click, if you're not giving off the proper payoffs, or you're basically just you're making a set of moving pictures rather than a story that connects with the audience and that makes sense.
Right.
It's a little hard for the reader or the viewer in this case to want to connect to that. So yeah, I mean, it has to be logical. It has to connect with people. That those are very important things.
Now, knowing the fact that it seems like now, and I think we can all be in agreement that everything is a go. You got the blessing and so forth. you must be like mentally right now be doing backflips out the yin yang of pure joy and excitement, knowing like, yes, we scored the touchdown, baby. Now it's time to go to the next thing, which is now we got to make a film.
I would say that I'm doing backflips internally, but there's still a lot of work. Filmmaking is a process. Like I'll be, next week I'll be in New York. I'm gonna be in, all sorts of parts of the country, just trying to meet people to get more people involved, because that's the name of the game, man. I mean, I love this, and don't get me wrong, but it's a tough thing. But I'm so looking forward to once this thing is done. That is the biggest reward for me.
Going back, because we talked about this previously when I actually invited you to be a guest on my podcast show, and back then, there was a certain look in your eye, and there was a certain sound in your tone about how locked in you were and how motivated you were, and it sounded like, if I can use this analogy, it was kind of like an up-and-coming fighter who just, got out of the Golden Gloves, and he wants to make it to the pros, and he's willing to do anything and everything he can to make it to the big time, to have his first professional fight, and possibly go all the way to the ranks of maybe one day fighting for the championship belt.
I mean, that's how I live every day. Every day, the moment I'm on set, I'm super excited, whether it's this feature, whether it's a short film. I just love making film, man. I love telling stories. I love creating. Right on.
But what inspires you gentlemen as, creative people to wake up every day and say, what, I live, breathe, and eat this stuff every day, and maybe twice on Sunday if the plate is like left over on the table and nobody's finishing it? Because it sounds like from the both of you guys that, you guys are really, you're really well driven in this industry.
It's really, for me at least, it's mainly the creative aspect, just being able to express myself. Mm-hmm. And it's always fun to have an army of PAs to do your bidding, but
right.
It's just being on set, just having that experience. That's the biggest reward for me.
Yeah, I would say being on set is like the biggest dopamine rush you can get. Like the creation of, whether it's writing, directing, producing, acting, doing all the research as possible, all of that is fun. Once you get on set, it's just a whole other level. So being able to create with your friends, or just good people, especially when you find those people in the industry, because
they're rare.
You kind of have to weave through them and then create your inner circle.
No doubt.
That's the best feeling in the world, because as a creative, I feel like this might be just my actor side coming out of me, but like,
for sure, okay,
the roller coaster of the highs and lows that this industry has, where you're supposed to have the thickest skin but also show the most vulnerability that you possibly can, whether it's an audition or a callback or whatever.
Right.
Being in those low moments are so offset by being on set that's continuously what you're driving towards. You're driving towards bringing a character and telling that story on set, because then you get to be in that place that you've been thriving for like a year, 2 years, 3 years, however long it takes for you to get back on there. So yeah, that's kind of a long-winded way of saying answering your question there.
We just love film.
And I like the thing that you were talking about, like, in this industry, you kind of have to have a durability and a tough skin. And maybe it's just me, and I know that sometimes when I relay that to other people that are not in the industry, they seem to say, and I don't mean it to, but they seem to think that I'm very insensitive when I talk about it, because I say, you got to have durability and tough skin if you're going to make it in this business, whether if you are an upcoming actor or if you're upcoming director or an upcoming stuntman, because let's be realistic. It is a constant competition out there. It's literally like the Olympics. You have everyone representing of all events from all different areas of life and so forth, and they're all good, jockeying for the same position. But, if you, let's say, get eliminated and you can't, for lack of a better term, absorb the constructive criticism that they give you and so forth of, like, let's say for example, why you weren't chosen, why you weren't picked, you fell a little short, it could really eat you alive.
Yeah.
If you can't handle that constructive criticism in a more positive way. Because everybody is so short to listen to the negative side of things, and I get that, because we all think like, what did we do wrong? What's going on? Why wasn't I picked? You're picking this person because you just think that I'm not talented enough, and it's not usually the case, right? I mean, maybe I might be wrong, but again, like, what do you guys think?
I mean, it's all filmmaking is a whole bunch of moving pieces, and it's, for the most part, at least that's what I like to think. It's not really because people just don't like each other, but it's just sometimes things just fit, and when you see it, like, that's the part. Like, it's not an issue of like they're not a good actor, producer, director. It's just that's just not the project for them. They're and I think that's sometimes a blessing. It's better to go into a project where you are like that is made for you to excel and make that work, whatever you're doing, the best it can possibly be, rather than go into something and try to force yourself. And I know, as an actor or a director or anything creative, you're always pretending, but
for sure,
you always want to be authentic with your emotions.
True, but at the same time, it's like, if I'm going for something that's not in my wheelhouse, I'm not just going to sit around and die and not give it a shot. I feel like, it's better to go out there and see what's going on and to give it the old college try, rather than sitting on the sidelines like a sit on the shelf quarterback, kind of wishing that could have been me throwing that winning play that could help us win the Super Bowl. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think what I always talk about is that persistence will always win out over talent.
Yeah.
You need talent. You need to be good enough to do something. Right?
And that,
you need to
that
be
is
a good
a main
enough
ingredient.
director.
It's one of the main ingredients to have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need that talent, but there are so many talented individuals, and if you don't think that, then you're already behind the eight ball. There are so many talented actors, directors, producers, that persistence will always win out, because if you are talented and you're just doing this thing longevity-wise, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years,
right,
you're meeting people, you're going to continue to connect, you're going to continue to grow your community, you're going to continue to make films that you're learning from.
Right.
You might be making a short film, and then you look at it at the end of it and you go, well, I would have reshot all those scenes, but we don't have the money. All right, for next time.
Right.
For next time.
Right.
So as long as you are persistent in that drive, you hopefully, because there's still a little bit of luck involved, hopefully you'll get to a place where you are happy with creatively, where you can be doing this thing your whole life.
So let's talk about the present right now, that we are here over at Riggo Video Productions Studio. We are doing one, which is a networking event. Two, you're actually showing visually the concepts and ideas visually through like movie, for lack of a better term. What is the end goal with this whole event? Like, what do you gentlemen look for in this event, and what do you hope that it will achieve and accomplish?
Spreading awareness first and foremost, and also like you said, networking event is also very important, because if I could clone myself, that'd be awesome, and I could shoot the whole film myself. But you got to find people, and
no doubt.
It's these events where you get to meet people, you get to read them out, and you get to learn, like, okay, this is a good fit for your XYZ role. I can definitely work with this person. I can trust this person with holding my $30,000 camera.
Oh, 30,000 again! Like, wow! I'm just like, I had a freeze from it. Like, oh God, that's like a definitely good down payment for a car.
That's an exaggeration. I will say, but I mean, there are cameras out there at 30,000.
Yeah, no, for sure. Of cameras of high value.
Yeah, I mean, my rule is if you can trust them with your car, then you can work with them in film.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't ready to think of it in that direction, but that does make sense. What are you hoping that the outcome will be? What are you hoping that, you know, when this event is done, what are you hoping that the masses that out there right now, like what their reaction would be? Do you hope that it's going to be well received and there's going to be like a lot of, you know, positive press and a lot of positive word that's going to be out there for your street cred? I mean, what are you hoping?
Of course. I mean, yeah, like you know, a lot of people don't know this, but when you're shooting a film, whether it's a short, a feature, or whatever,
right,
you have to start marketing even before you start rolling the camera.
Right.
You have to create your audience, and you know, this is what these events are for. Whether it's just showing them a proof of concept, get people hyped, get people excited for the rest of the project.
What do you
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You're all good. And on top of that, it's, you know, it's a networking event to meet other creatives. In terms of, like Juan was saying, like, you know, there are people that work in this industry that you might not have met before. I mean, this is my first time out in Maryland, so I haven't met anyone that's here. So being able to network and grow that, you know, the people that I'm connected with that I can work with down the line possibly.
Right.
And on top of that, just getting the word out. If the people that are at this event like what they see in concept, then they can spread the word to their network and connect that way. As well as, you know, we're still raising money. So the finance part of it is also a huge thing. So that is like, get as many eyes on the concept as possible.
Right.
Talk about it as much as possible, and, you know, raise that money so we can go shoot this thing the way we want to. Speaking
of fundraising, I mean, I know that's a key instrument for a lot of directors and production teams and so forth, because as we all know, common sense, it is not cheap to make a movie. Mm-hmm. It really isn't. I mean, you really have to factor in a lot of, you know, costs, like, you know, maybe the cost of the venue, cost of, like, you know, maybe a certain type of equipment, whether if it's video or audio. Then you got to think about, like, okay, well, with actors that are working with us, maybe it's going to be like a 4-day shoot. We got to think about maybe catering or something like that, things of that sort. It's not like, for a lack of a better term, that $1 million in a steel suitcase is going to fall from the sky and then
that
boom.
Would be nice.
Yeah, that would be great. And all of a sudden, it's like, oh, you know, like it's not going to happen. But, you know, a lot of people, like, you know, because, you know, like myself, you know, I have a 9-to-5 job every day, Monday through Friday. If I was able to go ahead and financially do this for a living, I would have done that a long time ago. Hell, I probably would have been in the Hollywood Hills chilling. But, yep. You know, I'm just a regular kid from Annapolis, Maryland, born and raised, now living in Silver Spring, not far from Washington, D.C. And, you know, I'm, you know, as an actor and even as a podcaster, you know, I have to make ends meet for myself because I don't have that type of capital. I don't have, you know, sponsorship with Shure or Zoom or anything, or Mogami. You know, it's all coming out of my pocket, so I understand that. Are you guys thinking about maybe somewhere, like either now or maybe in the future, we might see like an online fundraising thing where people could actually donate to the cause?
Yeah, we're actually going to have one very soon, opening up, which is different from the, you know, traditional crowdsourcing, which is equity crowdfunding.
Okay.
Which is very similar, but the key difference is
more like GoFundMe.
No, so you're actually getting something back from this. So
okay,
you know, you put in money. You're not just okay. Thank you, neighbor. Thank you, best friend, or what have you, for the $100 that I will use to, you know, kill people on my film or whatever. But you're giving them an opportunity to get something back, to invest in not just a film but a product that they can make money out of.
Yeah. Have you ever thought of not only implementing that, but kind of doing like live events like this, where like maybe local actors can come over and come through, and maybe they could slide in money physically that way, as opposed to like maybe transferring it electronically through the online process?
I mean, that's also an opportunity. I mean, one thing we're looking into is getting a fiscal sponsorship for the film. Mm-hmm. So that way, you know, people that will donate and don't want to invest will at least get a tax incentive to want to be a part of the project.
Okay. Okay. Now, if this was a video game right now, how far are we from the completion of the video game? Are we like, did we just beat the first stage? Are we near the final boss? I mean, where are we at with this thing?
I'd say we're like at the halfway point.
The halfway point. Okay. So from your perspective, or just from the perspective of what any of you guys know, what needs to be done from this point to actually, achieve this? Because, I feel like there's a lot of, checks and balances, steps and protocols, like doing taxes. You know what I mean? There's a lot that goes with it.
Yeah, I mean, get some money. Get some money, most important. But, even with that, you want to start planning. Like, even now, you want to start working on whatever you can, whether it's storyboards, finding locations, coordinating with your makeup artist, with the rest of your team, to make sure that when you walk on set, because I'm feeling confident we're gonna get that money, but the last thing I want is to be on set and then no one knows what's going on. So you got to start planning from the moment you even start conceptualizing that idea, in my opinion.
Right. Yeah, for sure. I think the most another important thing that we have to discuss about is finding the right pieces and finding the right tools in order to make this puzzle picture complete. Because as Juan, as you know, and I'm pretty sure everybody else in this small room that's probably knows too, sometimes, for lack of a better term, the shit can go down. Because, you might initially meet somebody who you think from the outside, that's a person I probably want to work with, whether if it's, a producer, or if it's, somebody that works the camera, or another actor and so forth. But as soon as that you're behind the scenes, maybe there's like another face that's revealed, and it's the ugly face that you don't want to see, because that face could bring in negative energy. It could piss people off. It could be to a point where I don't want to fucking work with this dude anymore because of the bullshit and drama that they're bringing in. And you better do something as a director and a producer, or I'm going to take this dude outside the woodshed and beat the shit out of him. And it's real, because I'm not saying that I've done that, but I've heard of some wise tales. And when I hear that, about that happening in our industry, it saddens me, because I feel like we're professionals and we're supposed to be better than that.
Well, I mean, as a writer, director, producer, you need backups for your backups always.
That's what you said the last time. I remember that.
Oh, quoted myself. There we go. But I mean, yeah, it's really important to take those precautions. But when you're working with people, or you're looking to work with people, you want to, things can happen, but you want to be prepared no matter what happens, because you can't. As someone once told me, this is a cutthroat industry. Yeah, it is extremely cutthroat.
Yeah.
And while you may be working with someone and it may be going well, and so you don't know what's going to happen down the line within a few months or whatever. Right. But you gotta be prepared. And that's really all I can say about that. You just gotta take one day at a time and just be prepared for things to change. Because these things won't just happen before the film starts shooting. It can happen at any point.
Yeah, I hear that. Rebuttal?
That's what pre-production is all for, is all the preparation, because it's not if something will go wrong during production, it's when. Right. There's always going to be something that happens, which isn't a bad thing. It's just, how prepared are you to respond to it?
Yeah. That is true, and that is fair. But looking on the other side of the coin, if you can take, for lack of a better term, the road less traveled, where you don't have to go so much into those dangerous obstacles, it's kind of preferred that way, because then you have more of a better experience in this journey of filmmaking.
And that kind of goes back to the inner circle that you create, having done so many different projects, right? There's I feel like growing up, I always felt like, why is this director working with the same actor over and over and over again? And it's not just because they have good chemistry, it's because they know how they work. They know that they're a good person to work with them. There's a reason why directors usually work with the same DPs, or the same editors, or the same camera people, or the same grip department, or, so when you find those people to work with, that's something that's off your list of like having to worry about, because you have that like background with them. That's the content. And like, all right, you've done 4 films with this, first AD. Cool. I don't need to worry about first AD. He knows how to get his or her second, like whatever. They get to handle their own department. I'm going to focus on this, which we're working with a new sound person or something, so those inner circles are pretty important once you start developing that network of people that you really like to work with.
Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Hell yeah. And I'm just going to use this analogy. It kills me sometimes. Like, let's say if you're a chef and you make a killer dessert and, everybody says it's bulletproof, but then you just have that one person that has like a constructive criticism, and it makes you kind of question, should I tweak it this way or tweak it that way? And the way that I feel, it's like if 99 people out of 100 say that it's bulletproof, why change the recipe? I mean, stick to what the people are saying. If they say it's good, it's good. Don't change it for nobody. Unless you want to change it. So, in a perfect world right now, if everything is achieved and you get everything that you need financially, number one, where would you like to have this filmed? And I know it's a little bit premature to really ask this question, but
not at all.
Who would be the crew that you would like to run with that would be like, hey, we want you in this film. We would like for you to be in this film. Whether if it's a cameraman or a makeup artist or an actor or something like that, or is that too soon to tell?
Well, some of them are in the room with us right now, so I kind of have to say yes. But no.
What's up, people?
Seriously, like 90% of the people that are helping run this event are already part of this project.
Word.
And here come more people right now.
Oh yeah. I swear, this is a hot area right here, man. Like, I swear. I mean, I know I'm called the Asian sensation, but goddamn, I didn't know it was that reason. I didn't know that the energy was. That I'm radiating has quite a positive effect. That's cool. When would you like to start filming this, or is it still too early to tell?
The goal right now is to start filming. I need to look at the calendar again. What I put? Do you remember? I think it was like
end of September.
End of September.
Of this
we have
year,
exact dates, but there's like so much in my head right now I can't remember. I have to go through. But end of September to like mid-October.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
With a contingency, if things happen for like April of next year.
Okay. But would that be filmed in the DMV?
Yeah, absolutely. This story was written with Maryland in mind.
Okay. Is there like anywhere specifically in that area, like like Baltimore or Columbia or Wheaton or?
We're looking at PG County right now.
PG County.
They got some sick mansions for us to kill a lot of bad guys. So.
Damn. How could you achieve such a thing? Because if I had a mansion, I'd be like, yo, okay, you're asking a huge ask here, and I know that my insurance is good, but I got to have it, that your assurance that that the foundation will still be standing once you guys are wrapped.
Well, that's the beauty of having I'm not familiar with other states, but I know in Maryland, they have the film office, but they also have specific film offices based on their county, and they're pretty straightforward. Like, what do you want to do on here? Like, what's allowed? It's very helpful. So you don't show up there and we're gonna pour 3 buckets full of blood all over your nice looking furniture that costs millions of dollars. Mm-hmm. They know off the bat, okay, this is what you want to do. Okay, awesome, cool. So. I'm grateful for that.
With a film of this magnitude, do you think that it's going to, like you said, that you want to try to start in September 2026? Are you thinking that it might be like a 3-month project, a 6-month project? How long do you think it's going to last?
As far as production?
Yeah, from beginning to end.
It's like a month for production, and then check it again, but post-production into April, so that we can try to get into Tribeca.
Ooh. So you want to go Tribeca and maybe film festivals like Southwest by Southwest?
The whole shebang.
Wow. Do you have any films that you have thrown into specific events like that beforehand, or would this be the first one?
I have not. this would be the first one.
You're really confident that you can really knock this out of the park and it could reach that kind of level.
Well, you gotta be. I mean, this is I'm doing this because I love what I wrote. I love what I'm doing, and I'm feeling really confident. I got talented casting crew. Got everyone I need in this room right now. So
no doubt. Yeah, I mean, they're definitely piling up, like stockpiling on candy for Halloween kind of a thing. No doubt. Do you think that potentially with this type of film, this potentially could possibly be Oscar worthy?
I hope so.
Hey, I mean, you got. Hey, if you believe in yourself, it can happen. It's like that old saying. It's like, if you can conceive and if you believe, you can achieve. But it's only you. You are the only one that can take it so far and run with it and see what happens with it.
Yeah, I mean, I put a lot of heart, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears when I wrote into that story.
Right.
And there's a lot of moments there that I think, when I do it right, if it's good enough, it'll be good enough once you see it.
Before this actually hit the public, who knew about the idea?
Practically everyone in the room right now.
Really? So basically, everybody in the room, you're like, "Hey guys, I have an idea for a film.
I just hit up a bunch of people. Like, I was like, hey, do you want to shoot a feature in like September?
Wow. And everybody that you thought of to contact about it and ask that question, they were automatically on board, no questions asked?
Of course. I mean, that's why I chose these people.
Okay.
I'm one of the things like I mentioned earlier, if anything broke, don't fix it. Like a lot of the people I'm working with are coming back from my previous projects who I'm already comfortable with working with them. I know how they work, and I couldn't ask for a better team.
Nice. When it's all said and done, when you start this project and you finish the project, and we get to see it out there on a screen, what are you hoping would be the end result? What do you in both of your opinions, what kind of legacy do you want this project to leave?
Well, because of the themes we're covering in this film, I want someone out there who watches this film to get something out of it. It is a very turbulent time, and I think at least for me, when growing up, movies were always the greatest outlet, not just as an escape from reality, but to remind me there are other people out there who are hopeful for the future, and I have to maintain that hope.
Okay.
And to keep making movies.
Okay, fair deal.
Yeah, I would say just like a core level, like people feel something from it. And taking back from that is, like Juan was saying, filmmaking is to show the perspective of the filmmaker, right? And we've been in times where we haven't had the perspective of women or people of color or yada, 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 whatever list you want to name down, LGBTQ plus, all that stuff.
Right.
So watching a film and being able to see a different person's perspective through characters, through story, is something that I think will always, I don't want to say solidify a legacy, but that is the legacy that I want this film to have.
Yep.
And, it's a pretty ambitious project to make during these times with the material that it is. And when you take big swings, you're hoping for big return. So
if you can give me a Cliff Notes version of, what this film is going to be all about, within, because I know that we're on borrowed time here, but if you can give us like an abbreviated version of what this film is all about.
I got you with the log line.
What's up?
I got you with the log line.
Yeah. Then, hit what would be that abbreviated version?
In a small American town, rising white supremacy awakens an ancient Spanish vampire from the Spanish colonial era who turns the town's violence back on itself.
Damn. That's hot. That's really hot. That's really hot. Well, gentlemen, I know that I don't want to waste, any more of your, precious time. The fact that, number one, we were able to do this on the fly, and two, again, I'm home. Welcome to Annapolis, Maryland. This is where I was born and raised. You gentlemen can't leave unless you actually either get a chocolate lava cake over at the Chart House in downtown Annapolis, or a crab cake from Davis's Pub in the Eastport section of Annapolis, because it's definitely where it's at.
Don't worry, I'll make sure Sean gets the whole Maryland treatment.
Those are both up my alley. So,
Sean, you look like a man that could definitely appreciate good food.
Oh yes.
Nice. Well, gentlemen, I want to say thank you for your time. I mean, for the fact that again, this was not planned. This was not planned, but the fact that I went in this room, I saw the awesome SB7 Shure microphones, and that the idea kept on generating. I was here earlier in Annapolis teaching like a seminar on podcasting to the youth, and I was like, yo, why can't we just bang one right now? Because I don't really have to use a lot, because about a good 50% of it's already here. So, but again, Sean, Juan, thank you so much for kicking it with me. I really appreciate it. It's been an honor and a pleasure. Juan, once again, as soon as you have time, brother, we got to do a round two.
Absolutely.
It's been way overdue. We got to give the masses what they want. We definitely need to get more of a conversation. Sean, anytime that you want to come back over to the podcast show and you want to do something, let me know. I'll leave you I'll give you a skeleton key to the door. Just tap me on the shoulder and say, let's do something.
Sounds great.
Nice. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it. I mean, I don't think there's anything more I have to say other than that. The fact that this is going to be the first time in a while that I do an in-person interview and show, number one, at the old hometown, but two, with two people in under an hour is... that's dynamite. That's a sure thing. Like pouring premium gasoline in the gas tank. That just means that you're going to have good durability in the engine. So let me go ahead and close it out real quick, guys, like I normally do. You can find your boy on a lot of social medias. I am on Facebook. Just go into the search box of the Kim Hoang Podcast Experience. Search me, find me. It's all good. I am on Instagram and on Twitter, now known as X. Find me under my tag name at TKHPC Experience, all in one word, lowercase letters. Follow me and I'll follow you back. We are on 6 podcasting platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, YouTube Music. We are on Audible and on iHeartRadio. Do your boy a favor, please like, follow, subscribe to my podcast on all of those aforementioned podcasting platforms. And also, if you have Spotify, please give me a 5-star rating, because, we do appreciate good ratings, and, it gives good metrics. Or if you have Apple Podcasts, please give me a 5-star rating and a positive written review, because the more times you do that, then, my podcast can be thrown into the front of the lines, and somebody could be like, yo, it's the Kim Hoang Podcast Experience. I heard about this. My boy Jamal Green told me about this. He said it's good. It's awesome. The dude is, pretty engaging. And, maybe we should like, follow, and subscribe. Yes, please do. You know what I mean? And share it on your social media platforms. Share it with your friends, your family members, or coworkers, because, sharing is caring. It's called brand awareness. Definitely appreciate it. Last but not least, here's the deal. If you guys have, an interest of being a guest on my show, if you want to be a special guest host, if you have any constructive criticism, or if you have a question for my Q&A forum that I do on solo episodes, hit me up. The Kim Hoang Podcast Experience at gmail.com. Whatever the subject is, put it in the subject line. Whatever you want to write in the body, please do, and then just send it off. Once I actually get that notification, I will read it. I will, take it under serious consideration. Most likely, I will get back with you on that same day, or if not, the following day, because I like emails and I like communication. I like to be engaged, and I like to know what is going on. I cannot do anything for you guys unless you let me know what the hell is going on. So it's up to you to go ahead and take the football, run it up the red zone, break the plane, and make the touchdown. I'm just the quarterback like Lamar Jackson, just to toss it to you and say, run. That's it. That's my job. It's up to you to take the ball, break the plane, get the 6 points. You feel me? That being said, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a beautiful day in my old hometown of Annapolis, Maryland. The 410, we are literally over on the 655 area of Annapolis. That's right, Ayers T. Allen Boulevard, Forest Drive, over at the Riggo Video Productions Studio. And shout out to them because they have blessed us with some awesome Shure microphone equipment that I think now it might take 2 Christmases to get. But damn, I'm sure going to aim for it because based on the sounds and the metrics, shit's badass, man. So, thank you. God bless you. Guys, please be safe out there no matter what. It doesn't do us any good if you're unsafe or you do something that you're not supposed to do. You get buried in a pine box and get buried 6 feet under. We don't want that to happen to you because we want you to be healthy. We want you to be happy. We want you to be thriving. We want you to be, taking life by the horns and throwing that damn thing down on the ground because you're worth it. You're wonderful. You're beautiful. You're intelligent. And anybody else that tells you otherwise that you can't make it, go fuck yourselves. Like, for real. Like, I ain't got time for that. Like, if you were here right now, I'd hit you with a horse kick right in your jaw and knock it out in 5 places because I could probably do that. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, live and direct from the Riggo Video Production Studio in my old hometown of Annapolis, Maryland, the place where Kim Hoang was born, raised, and loved. This is your boy, the Asian sensation, Kim Hoang. I am the host with the most. I'm the man with the plan. I got the power that can bring it within the hour. The dude with the right attitude. And I'm so nice because, if you're whack, please remember, I'm a 3rd-degree black, so I can whoop that ass saying thank you, God bless you. I'm just going to go ahead and do my thing now. Probably going to go eat some sushi over at Josh Sushi Cafe Bar in downtown Annapolis, 195 Main Street, Annapolis, Maryland. Shout out to them because y'all make great Japanese food and sushi. I'm overdue for a visit. Y'all take care. We'll see you on the next one. Deuces. I'm out. Peace.